Good morning, Love Tribe. How is everybody doing today? Sorry I didn't get a video up on Monday, but I've been a busy, busy girl. I went through my entire video upload selection for my entire channel. I redid all of the ads. YouTube, I did that once before, just so you know, and YouTube likes to slam some videos. I don't know how the algorithm chooses. Maybe, certain titles makes YouTube think that it's going to be more popular than another. But some of my videos had like 20 ads crammed right into like the first 15 minutes of the video and nothing at the end. And then others, had like one video at the beginning and one at the end. And so I went through and I tried to space them out because I put out long videos, a lot of content. So, I tried to make it relative to the length of the video in order to support the channel. Guys, I know you don't like ads and I do apologize, but ads is what allows and affords me to be able to not go to a 9 to 5 job and clock in every day and not have time to sit down and create content for you. So, if it looks like there's too many ads for you, remember they're skippable. 90% of them, I don't choose. I let YouTube choose what kind of ads they put on there. But anyhow, needless to say, I tried to make it fair for both of us, for you and for me. And if you want to support my channel, then watch a couple of them. Takes nothing but a little bit of your time. And I put so much time into these readings for you guys. Also, I created a playlist for all of my pick-a-pile readings so that now you don't have to go through 600 and some videos to find my timeless pick-a-piles. They are timeless. You can watch them anytime you have a question. And you just go to the playlist and see if the topic is in there, and you click on it and you choose a pile. It's that simple. Okay. Also, guys, I'm going to be running a special for from now until the end of March. And the reason why is because I am going on vacation. I'd like to make a little extra money, and I'd like to reconnect with a lot of you who I haven't been able to connect with personally because of financial situations, in your life. So if it's been a problem in the past and you've wanted a personal reading, then, I did raise my prices, and I don't know, I'm rethinking that. I might go back to my original pricing. But anyhow, the special for the month of March is a pre-recorded video, is $50, and it's going to be as long as I think that it needs to be in order to help you with the topic that you email me. Okay? It's going to be at least 30 minutes because you guys know me, I can't shut up. But it could be anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes for $50, guys. Okay, that's the special. Also, if you would like a deep dive, I'm going to offer the 2 hours back again at the 125, which I had raised that price, I believe. Anyhow, actually, I think I'll do that for $100. Okay, just until the end of March. So if you're interested in that, I'll also put that on my community tab. Reach out, because I would really, really, really like to make some extra money to go on vacation. And also, I got a new computer and a new phone, guys. I had to buy both. Remember, the screens were broken, and well, they both decided to take a major dump on me during Mercury retrograde. So I just, took the money I had already saved from the stimulus check, and I just bit the bullet. Okay. So hopefully I figured out the new ThinkPad or Chromebook, whatever it's called, and my phone. I'm hoping that all comes together the way it's supposed to. All right, so today is a pick a pile reading, and quite frankly, when I do my pick a piles, I try to figure out what are the questions I most would like answered in my life. And I know that a lot of you guys are on the same journey as I am, right? And so I thought, what would I like to know right now in my life? And quite frankly, I'd like to know what my blocks still are to love. Self-love, friendship love, relationship love. That's what I've been healing on this journey. I'm not sure exactly what you've been healing or where you've been at on all of this. But for me personally, I always say that we are vibrational beings and we manifest not what we want, but what we are. So this pick a pile reading is around how can we become a vibrational match to the love that we deserve, that we have been asking for, whether it's love of self, because some people don't have another person in their life, or if it's, love of others, love from your family, whatever. It's all about self-worth, self-love. We know that. We've been learning that, right? But where do we need to tweak it, right? Where are those residual blocks that are preventing us, those belief systems, right, that are preventing us from really, really manifesting and physically aligning with the vibration of our desires? Okay, so here we go. Pile number 1, again, I need to get some new crystals, guys. See, so order your videos. And if you'd like to make a contribution to the channel or to my trip, I'm hoping to get some crystals while I'm out there. By the way, I'm going to visit Rich. If you guys came to me through Rich Lop, Leah, I don't know if Rich knows about it yet, but Leah and I, his girlfriend, are already scheming and making plans. I'm going to Vegas the end of, actually, we're leaving the last day of March, and we're going to be there for April Fool's weekend, right? So I'm hoping if Rich is down for it, maybe to do some video of him and I and her meeting. Again, I've already met Rich, but I've never met Leah, and maybe hanging out in Vegas. I don't know, but just thought I'd share that with you. But if you guys would like to contribute, you know where everything is in the description box below. And email me. If you're struggling financially and you need guidance, I always offer during the new moon and full moon rituals a $15 check-in. Okay. So I can offer that pretty much anytime, guys, as long as you know it's just going to be an energy check-in, like a 10, 15, 20-minute video. Okay. For a $15 donation, just email me. Everything's in the description box below. Now I'm going to get to your reading. Look at, we are 8 minutes in. So pile number 1 is the Rutilated Quartz Tower. Pile number 2 is this beautiful, I believe there's a certain name for this. It's the pale amethyst, but I can't remember the name of it. And then we have the blue fluorite or rainbow fluorite. And of course, we're going to use the dice again today. 1, 2, and 3. I use the dice for just, some energy around vibration. All right, let's bring it down. Okay, let's see. I've got a new computer, and I'm hoping that this is going to record correctly. It's my first time recording with it. I did a dry run last night. And so hopefully everything, all the glitches are worked out, right? Okay, so here we go. Pile number 1, let's roll your dice and see what vibration, because all numbers have a vibration. We have a vibration 5, which is change. All right, these cards here are advice. Yep, these ones are advice, and these ones are kind of like going to tell me a little bit about what is preventing you from manifesting love. Wow. Okay, so give me a minute. I'm going to show you everything, but I want to take a look at the energy. Wow. Okay, so, a lot of my viewers came to my channel because they're twin flames. Now, listen, you don't have to take that as a resonance if that doesn't resonate with you. However, when I start seeing things like the Emperor and the Mirror Guardian and the No Place Like Home, that to me is 20 energy. Okay, so if you know that you're on that journey, take that as part of your reading. Okay, but if not, then this could definitely have to do with let me just sit in this energy for a minute. So we have the Death and Rebirth card. So something here is ending complete. Like the Death card is the end of one way and the beginning of something new. So there is, and underneath it, I'm clarifying with the After Tarot, we have the Two of Wands. And I love in this After Tarot, just the imagery. Okay, so there are two people here that are planning a future together. They have their hand on a globe, both of them. And then here we have the King of Swords. This guy's been showing up a lot lately with the Emperor. Okay. Now, I'm looking at energy. I'm an energy reader. For those of you who, cling to the zodiac signs, we have Scorpio, we have fire, and we have air. Okay. And if you're new to tarot, which I seriously doubt that you are, air would be the Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius, and fire would be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. And we definitely have Scorpio energy here. But what I'm seeing here is that what's blocking your progress to love? Because here we have the Slave in the reverse, which is the shadow attribute. And what it says is giving your willpower to an external authority out of fear of making your own choices. It's Slave. And then we have No Place Like Home. Now you have another attribute or archetype card. It's called the Knight. And it says loyalty, romance, and chivalry of a love of honor. Okay, then we have, and it's funny because you had the number 5, right? Now you have 5. Here is 5. 50 reduces to 5. And so a lot of changes. I feel with the Death and Rebirth card, that the blocks you have to romance, or actually, I don't want to say romance. I want to say love, because love in all forms, right? Love of self, love of others, unconditional love, love that is created in a balanced way. And what are your blocks? So Mirror Guardian, this is all about your belief systems. Okay, whether you're on a twin flame journey or not, twin flame journeys are all about the person who activated you on your ascension is a mirror reflection of everything you've ever feared. So if you have fear of being abandoned, they will have commitment issues. If you have fear of being controlled, they will be controlling. And it doesn't have to be romance, guys, because not everybody is on a romantic journey, right? For some of you, this is ancestral patterning around a father figure with the emperor. And in a twin flame journey, the emperor represents that divine masculine energy, right? That authoritative, masculine, what is the word? There's a word spirit wants me to use, and I'm having a hard time bringing it through. But let's just take a look at the personality of an emperor. Okay? There can be good emperors and there can be bad emperors. Emperors are authoritative. They're in control. They have to be in control. They don't have a choice. It is their job. It is their life's mission. It is their archetype. And so for some of you, and, the good ones rule with love, but authority. I mean, I'm sorry, you stole a horse. Well, you're going to have to make retribution, right? You're going to either have to pay for the horse or you're going to have to be punished or, I don't know. The emperor is fair and honest in the higher vibration and capable, loyal, capable, honest. I just keep wanting to come back to the word capable. Capable, 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 right? And so, boy, there's a lot of Ram energy on this card too. So Aries, of course, the Emperor is the Aries card, but they're the leaders. They go first. And usually, sometimes they're born into that role, and sometimes they're voted or chosen. Now let's take a look at the King of Swords attribute, right? The King of Swords is not really afforded their emotions. Most of their decisions have always been, and I'm seeing mountains in the back of both of these guys. So this archetype, whether this is your archetype or your father's archetype or the kind of men that because it depends on whether you identify with masculine energy or feminine energy. It doesn't matter what your avatar is. But like this center row is all masculine. We've got this knight in shining armor, right? We've got the emperor. We've got the king of swords. I feel like if you're a feminine and you're watching this, I feel like your block to love in any size, shape, or form has been through giving your power away to a masculine energy. It's, some of us were raised in homes where we were taught that the dad is the ruler of the family. What he says goes. And we were taught, and I can use a friend of mine as an example for this. Her mother taught her that marriage was not about love, that marriage was about finding a man that cared and provided for the family, a provider. And that love was a bonus if you found it, right? And she has been married, I don't even know how many times. And she chooses men who have some type of an authoritative energy, right? They're businessmen, or they had money, or they had stability, or they she didn't. And this is hard to say, it's not fair that she was raised this way. But she tended to believe that her job was to raise the children, to take care of the home and the husband. And so no place like home. I don't think whoever picked this pile, I think that you have had a hard time around love in the home for whatever reason, whether it was because you were raised to believe that, the feminines. Now I'm just talking to the feminines at the moment. And it doesn't matter the avatar. I'm talking about the energy, the nurturers, the caregivers, if you resonate with the feeling of needing somebody else to partner with in order to care for you, in order to make your home the best that it can be. I think that what's changing for you, or what needs to change for you, what needs to die, is this partnership, this balancing of the divine masculine and divine feminine energies. It's not all feminine or all masculine. There needs to be a balance. There needs to be a partnership, whether it's external or internal. I believe for you, it needs to start internally first. You need to take a long look at what do you want in relationship to others? And is it in balance? Because I think you've been giving your power away to others in a codependent way, in a way that used to be, because I'm hearing used to be, because I think with this death card that my pile number ones have really, really, really been working on this. With the slave card, it's like, I don't know, I'm just seeing the old-fashioned Joan Cleaver energy, it's like, dad was the authority, the husband is the authority, men take care of the women, and the women take care of the home and the children. And I believe it's an ancestral pattern that is not going to serve you in the Aquarian age. And I believe that Spirit has been working on you to learn how to step into the masculine archetype in a balanced way, so you can have your feminine energy with a masculine attribute, so that you don't need a man or per se masculine energy to create for you your stability, your love, your worthiness. It's like I'm seeing this beautiful energy of balance between the masculine and feminine for you. So okay, that's the feminine. If you resonate with being the feminine energy, this is all about balancing your inner masculine. It's learning, I can bring home the bacon, fry it up in the pan, and never, never let you forget your romance. But you can also take care of you're so much more than that. You're so much more than taking care of the children in the home. You can create abundance for yourself. You can create happiness and joy and love within yourself. You don't need, there's the word I want to use. Spirit says, use the word need. I don't need anybody else to complete me. And I'm learning that. Possibly through another person mirroring and reflecting that to you. looking for and needing a knight in somebody to rescue you, somebody to care for you, somebody to make your life easy. And yet when you would align yourself with that energy, it was never easy. Because it was never, you were the slave, right? You were never, ever, ever, ever free to be adventurous, to be yourself. Okay, and now that can show up in a masculine body too. So if you're in a masculine body, but you're in the feminine energy, and this resonates with you, maybe you grew up in a home where dad was a badass. Maybe he was mean and cruel. It depends on what distortion he was in, right? Was he a good emperor, or was he a crappy emperor? Now, if you're a masculine watching this, and I don't have a lot of masculines that watch my videos that I know of, and if you are, sound off in the comment section, because I would really, really love to know how many masculines that resonate with the masculine archetype. I'd like to know how many of you are in my readings so that I can, better read for the collective. So if you're a masculine, I feel like you've been saddled through familial belief systems with the archetype of the emperor. Like, I have to be the provider. I mean, you know how many responsibilities an emperor or a father or a husband has in the old distorted masculine energy? I mean, like the grind, can you spell grind? They work all day, they come home, and then they've got to meet everybody's needs at home. And that's the reason why it's so hard for a lot of masculines to be kind, loving, giving, caring, and compassionate and attentive to the wife and kids when they get home, because usually they're so exhausted from grinding to be that provider that they come home and all they want is a couple beers and to put their feet up. They want to watch the news and they just want some space, right? And so I think that there's a pattern here of distortion, distorted feminine, distorted masculine energy. If you're the masculine, you need to change your belief systems around partnerships. It's okay in this new age of Aquarius, it's really okay to partner with a strong feminine, somebody who doesn't need you to support them financially. There's a difference between need and just is or whatever, it's like you don't have to. It's a partnership. And so I believe that the blocks to love here is that the masculines have to learn balance in their feminine energies. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to talk about your needs. It's okay to ask for your needs to be met. And it doesn't matter if you're the masculine or the feminine. What I'm seeing here is there's no balance in the heart chakra. Matter of fact, everybody's showing up kind of in duty. The knight has a job. The King of Swords has a job. The Emperor has a job. The slave has a job. It's like all distorted energy, whether you're distorted feminine or distorted masculine. The masculine feels like he has to provide for the home. There's a lot of responsibilities that comes with that, and sometimes love gets put on the back burner. So that's what I'm seeing for you, pile number one. I'm seeing a need to balance the inner masculine and feminine energies. And this is changing for you. You've got 5 on your dice. You've got 55 here. You've got 50 here. And you've got 2, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this, I believe you've already started this. I believe you're already halfway there, if not almost there. That's what I believe. The change, like you literally, and we've been talking about this on my channel for a while, being that caterpillar that goes into the chrysalis and comes out completely changed. I believe what's happening in the age of Aquarius is a partnership between divine masculine and feminine energies for all, right? Nobody needs anybody to fulfill them anymore. That is the old energy. The old energy is, I need somebody to provide for me, and I need to be the provider. And so, no, we are balancing that. Feminines that were in codependent energies, not that is the distorted feminine is an archetype of the past. It is the Joan Cleavers, right? Or June Cleaver, whatever her name was. It's that ancestral patterning, that belief system of women being frail and incapable of caring for themselves and their places in the home and as a parent. And it's like in the biblical times, if your husband died and he had a brother, he would have to marry you and care for you because it was his family duty to care for the women and children. And so this is the archetype we're breaking, guys. And I feel like my pile number ones, this is what you're working on, is learning that love does not have to be the old energy of feminine and the old energy of masculine. We're balancing this out and finding a lot of those attributes within ourselves, right? Kind of going back to a neutrality of sexual gender. I'm not talking about in sex, which that may manifest in the future. I don't know. But I'm talking about, a balance of the masculine and feminine. I have just as much masculine traits within me lying dormant as I do feminine. And yet those masculine traits have been suppressed by society, suppressed by archetypal belief systems. And same for the masculine. I have just as much feminine energy within me as I do masculine, but I'm not allowed to express that. I'm not allowed to be that. I'm not allowed to show that. That would make me less of a man. It would make me, kind of, I'm not saying it. I was going to say the P word, but I'm not going to. Sorry, guys. Thought I had it shut off. So let's take a look at your advice, shall we? Because I could read all day, guys. You know me, I'm a talker. All right. So we have magic. Oh, it's magic. I'm hearing the cars again. Magic. All right. Magic, blessings, transformation. A blessing in disguise is coming your way. Keep an open heart and mind. See, this is the transformation, guys. That's your very first card. Change, 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 right? There's a change in the wind. You're going to have to create this for yourself, Nobody's going to give you the capability to be vulnerable if you're a man. Nobody can give you permission to be that but you. And that means you have to detach from other people's opinions about you as a person, right? Are you PW'd? Maybe. Maybe it's okay to be PW'd in some areas of your life, and maybe in other areas you can be the emperor. There can be a balance struck here, right? Magic, creative ability. Guys, when you are the magician, You need all the elements, masculine, feminine. That's why there is a infinity symbol usually above the magician's head. It's the balance of divine masculine, divine feminine energy to create, right? To create from that central point of 0 point energy, that balanced state, that almost like uh androgynous, right? I don't have to fully identify with either or. I can be both. And it's going to be such a blessing for you. All right, then we have pay attention to the red flags. You want to know why? Because for me personally, I've been keeping a trigger journal. Guys, if you haven't done this, you got to try this. A trigger journal, you just get a little notebook, and every time somebody triggers you and it really affects you or knocks you off your center, write it down. Journal around it. How did it make me feel? Did I feel controlled? Did I feel anger? Did I feel unworthy? Did I feel unloved, unchosen? Did I feel abandoned? Did I feel whatever, right? Pay attention to the red flags. Those triggers are gifts, blessings in disguise, because around those triggers is a hot button, and the hot button is directly linked to a trauma wound or an outdated belief system. So when you get those red flags, make sure you journal them. And then really, really be willing to dance with them and take a look at why are they there? What belief systems do you hold that possibly might be outdated for you? Then we have your children on earth and in heaven are happy and well cared for by God and the angels. This is the Divine Mother archetype. Okay? Spirit saying that you can be both. You can be this masculine, this feminine. The children, we're doing all this for the future, guys. We're doing this for the future children too. Do you want to raise your children in that belief system that they need a man in order to be complete or whole or worth loving, and the Joan Cleaver? Or do you want to raise your children to believe that if they're a little boy that crying is for babies and sissies, and that if they want to learn to cook, it makes them a wimp? Or, I mean, this is all about the future. This is about no place like home. This is changing the archetype within you so that it bleeds out, manifests outward in the home and in the future generations of belief systems. It's how we're creating the new 5D earth, right? Through balance, intuition. You already know the answers you seek. It's like, okay, this is really validating what I've already known about my journey. Past life love. Your soul remembers this intense connection. This is for those of you that are on this ascension journey with a partner. Okay. There's a lot of karma in those archetypes, right? In past lives, you might have actually reincarnated and played out these distorted roles, right? You were the distorted masculine probably in one lifetime and the distorted feminine in another. And so if you've met somebody who is like a twin for you, or even just an ascension partner or high-level soulmate, it's because you recognize this person and you have reincarnated over and over again with them on this journey of balancing these archetypes. Think things through. Think things through. And you do have, take time to reflect. And keep an open heart and an open mind. So I'm hearing that some real epiphanies have been coming through to you. A lot of signs and symbols with this. Pay attention to the signs and symbols. You need to take a look at how you are. Know thyself. And what about that can be changed with love, acceptance, and forgiveness? Time to look in the mirror, and I believe you've already been doing that. What do they need to release? Denial. Accept people and situations exactly as they are without denying the difficulties. Then you can see things clearly and make the best decisions. Think things through. I think we see people through our distorted belief systems. And I think that if you've been on a journey with another person, it doesn't have to be a lover, it can be a friend, a soulmate can be anybody. But I think that you've lost faith in somebody because they're not showing up for you as a knight in shining armor or a slave. And your belief systems from your childhood or your ancestral patterning is that that's the way they're supposed to be. And they're not. So if they're not nurturing you, if they're not calling you, if they're not feeding your need, whether it's distorted feminine or distorted masculine, that's what needs to change. It's not that the person needs to change for you. You need to change what you believe about the person and find a way to love people as they are. Accept people and situations exactly as they are. Don't deny the difficulties. Then you can see things clearly and make the best decision, right? Keep an open heart and mind. Take time to reflect, think things through. I think you are judging a person and situation by an old distorted belief system. And that's not their problem. That's yours. And I believe that if it's a person, they're doing the same thing to you. And that's what needs to balance out in this situation. You build upon your strengths. What is my mirror strengths versus my strengths, right? And where they fail to show up for you, possibly, more than likely, pretty damn sure of it, are the places that you're not showing up for yourself. You don't need them to show up for you in that way. You can do that for yourself. An adventure, I'm just hearing journey. Adventure, yeah, what an adventure this freaking path has been, right? You need, this is so beautiful. It's all about learning to accept what is and stop projecting a belief system that is outdated, worn out, frayed around the edges, no longer serves the future. When you can see this situation or this person or possibly even your own reflection, if you're not dealing with another person, when you can see the blessings and the magic instead of the distortion, I'm just seeing, I see me in your eyes. I can see myself in your eyes. And sometimes that's very uncomfortable, especially if you're not real happy with yourself. So we have open your sacred heart. It is safe to receive love. Yeah, I see that. Past life love, open your sacred heart. Where are you not loving yourself? And how do you attract mirrors of that into your life? And how can you speak up for yourself? King of Swords, right? How can you get down to the truth? and speak it with clarity. So pile number 1's, your block to love is your belief system around what love is versus what it truly has the potential to be. And so that has been your reading. Change is happening. You guys are transforming. Oh my God, 45 minutes in. 45, what was that? 45, 23. 45, 23. I love you guys. If you would like your own personal reading, please reach out. I would love to work with you, and I'm only going to run this special from now until the end of March. And so if you'd like to take advantage of that, please, please, please reach out. The sooner the better. I love you. Okay. Yeah, it's a nice exchange, is it not? Okay. I help you, you help me, and we all live happily ever after. Pile number 2, if you pick this beautiful, oh, there's a name for it, the real pastel amethyst. I know it just doesn't want to come to my mind. All right, so let's give your dice a little shake here. Oh, more change. Yeah, I have a feeling that change is imminent for most of us, right? Okay, here's your advice cards. And here is what is pile number 2's blocks to love. What is pile number 2's blocks to love? Oh, how interesting. Okay, whew, I need to detach for a moment from pile number 1's. I was really in their energy. Just let me clear a little space here, guys. Okay, clear my energy. Detach from pile number 1. Let me get into pile number 2, Spirit. All right, so your first tarot card is the Moon. My pile number 2s, you guys have really been going deep, deep, deep to the depths of your heart and soul, your emotions, seeking clarity. Immersed. Clarifying that is the 10 of Wands. Then we have, we got 2 10s today, guys, for you. We have the 10 of Cups with the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, your archetype cards are Child Nature in the reverse, which says tendency to abuse animals, people, and the environment. Ooh, I don't like that. Financial discipline, which is 48, which is a number 12, which breaks down to a number 3. So we have 2 10s, a 3, a 9, and a 7. So if any of those numbers like resonate with you, we've got 5, 7, 10, 10, 3, and a 9. So your next archetype card is the Mediator. Gifts for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life, respect for both sides of an argument. So I'm noticing with this card, which by the way is the number 7 we talked about, round and round. Round. Wow. You know, I've got a general feel for this pile, except for this child and nature. I might need a clarifier. Can you clarify the child nature card for me, please? In the shadow attribute. Two of Swords. What is the blocked pile number 2's ability to give and receive love in a healthy form? Well, okay, let's talk about what I do know instead of what I don't know, because I'm still a little bit befuddled about the nature thing. Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. Okay. So pile number 2's for some of you, and this is going to be a difficult topic to talk about. Some of you guys came from an abusive situation. I think your childhood home had abuse in it. Now, that doesn't have to be hitting. But I don't think you got to have fun and play and be a carefree child. I think your home life was very structured and disciplined, and possibly to the extreme. Phew, this energy is getting heavy for me, guys. So I feel like in the home, I don't know, could be drinking. I'm seeing, it's going to be different for everybody. But I'm just kind of seeing a distorted masculine energy. Doesn't have to be in the masculine. Could have been the mother. Could have been the uncle. Could have been anybody, right? Could have been your first boyfriend, your husband. But it usually starts from a family pattern. See, what we're going through right now in the age of Aquarius is we are clearing out old archetypal energy and belief systems that no longer serve the collective. In order to create a better future for our children, it's like we are going to change things so that our future generations inherit a whole new archetype. It's the changing of the guards, right? We're leaving the Pisces archetype and moving into the Aquarian archetype. Note to self, I need to really, really do some research on Aquarian energy. I mean, I know the basics, but I really think it's time for me to really dig into the archetype of the Aquarian. Okay, so I just see that possibly you came from a long line of family karma around abuse. Abuse of animals, abuse of children, abuse of power. Could be addictions with alcoholism. Which I'm kind of feeling. And I think that this really, I think growing up, you needed to be this mediator, right? You look at the picture. This girl is sitting here and she looks almost like she's tied up. There's something across her chest and breasts. And she's holding the hands of two people who have their back to her. I feel like you might have grown up in an abusive environment where you had to be the fixer. And I just recently posted, or actually in our last moon ritual, we talked about in the channeled message the song Fixer. And I don't remember now who sang it. Something Morgan. But go look it up. It's called The Fixer. I think that's your archetype. I think that's where you are stuck. Giving and receiving love is always feeling like you can't trust. Like you have to be the fixer. And this is a family pattern. This is something that's been passed down. And so Spirit's trying to show you this from a higher perspective, the eagle, right? Look at the third eye down there hanging out right underneath the eagle. With this Two of Swords, this is like a battle. Like you were always stuck in between somebody else's war. And this has been very burdensome for you. Like you always felt like you had to be the fixer. You were never allowed to be the child. You were never allowed to be young and to play and to see this love. Look at this is not your experience. For some of you, in the home, the father was, or it could have been the mother. Although I am feeling masculine energy, of course, energy can be in either avatar. And I don't know, okay? I'm reading intuitively, guys. Just chuck it if it doesn't resonate with you. But with the Ten of Cups and this card, I'm seeing this moon in between these two wolves. Like there is always something in between. There was never any coming together. There was never any getting along. And it could have been around booze. I don't know why I'm feeling that. Don't take it if it doesn't resonate. Could have been drugs, could have been just belief systems, right? But somebody was a very hard worker. Or perhaps that's your energy. Maybe you are a very hard worker because you've always had to be everything to everyone. You're the fixer. You're the go-between. You're the one that made it okay. You know, sometimes in abusive homes, you can't really be the go-between for the two aggressors, the mother and the father, or the home guardians. So you had to do it with the siblings, right? It's like, okay, dad's drunk. Let me get my brothers and sisters and we'll go to our bedroom and we'll be quiet and we'll do something and we won't get in the way. Or maybe you always felt like when your friends would have an argument, you've always been the fixer. That's just what I'm seeing for my pile number 2. If it doesn't resonate, go pick another pile. Because this is the energy. This threw me until I sat in it and I saw two people fighting here. I see two people being brought together here. I see this as a cycle that has been extremely burdensome. And what you're learning is how to take back your energy. You need to stop being the fixer. This guy has dropped all of the burdens but his own. And I think this has created self-worth problems with you. With this Knight of Pentacles and financial discipline, I believe you immerse yourself in other things. I believe that when there was arguing and fighting or discontent or some kind of a battleground, you would go within with that moon card. You would just immerse yourself in fantasy, because it is the Pisces card, right? I feel like you're an extreme empath too. You were probably born into this family for this, to balance out the energies. But Spirit's trying to teach you that you are not responsible for everybody else's problems. If you're the only glue as this mediator holding something together, it's time to let it fall apart. And in a loving manner, see things from the higher perspective, right? Maybe you're angry and you need to heal your inner child. These feelings of having to be the fixer, having to be responsible, financial discipline. That energy isn't just around money, it's about responsibilities. 10 of Wands, burdens and responsibilities. You try to be neutral. You always try to be neutral, which is being neutral is okay if it's in your own life, if it's in your own energy. But when you are constantly trying to neutralize toxic, anger, bitter, no. I also feel as a child like you felt trapped. And there were things that you saw that you weren't meant to see. Things that you knew that you just were too young to know. And so it's time for you to forgive and release that karma. Time to forgive those people. Try to see things from this higher perspective. You know, it is a cycle. This is a belief system. This is karma. There's a karmic lesson, a karmic pattern of abuse, somehow, some way, that robbed you of your childhood, that robbed you of being carefree, placed a lot of burdens on you. You might be the oldest child. You might be the empath of the family, right? I believe we all incarnate in our family ancestral patterning, especially if you're in an avatar during this ascension, this awakening. There's not a mistake. It's not a mistake. You're not bound to that forever. You came here to transmute that. You were born in this family dynamic for a reason. But it's time for you to heal the past, to do some shadow work around forgiveness through seeing things through others' eyes. Remember we talk about the mirror. I go back to this analogy so many times. If God were a mirror, which everything is God, right? The Alpha, the Omega, beginning, middle, end. Everything that is, was, and ever shall be. That means a part of God is you. You are a part of that everything. And so if you take a mirror and break it into quadrants, right? 4 pieces. Of course, it's in billions of pieces, but we're just going to use 4. You take one and hang it from a tree for the birds to look at. You take one piece of the mirror and you put it in your pocket to use for whatever, picking your teeth or putting on lipstick, right? You take another piece of the mirror, put it under a candle to reflect the light back out into the world. And the last piece, let's say you create a piece of artwork with it. And so everything is God and experience. The piece that's hanging in the tree will never, ever, 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 ever know what it's like to be the piece in your pocket. And the piece in the pocket won't know what it's like to be the piece that spreads the light. And the piece that spreads the light will never know what it's like to be the piece of artwork that brings pleasure. There's shadow and there's beauty, right? Within each and every piece of God. And that includes you, and it includes the oppressors and the abusers. There's a piece of the divine in every one of us, and it's time. Spirit says for you to be the hanged man, to hang yourself up in a tree and look at things from a new perspective. And just try to understand that you will never understand that person's experience unless you lived it. You will never know what it's like to be them. And so abuse is a family ancestral pattern. It is handed down family after family after family, generation after generation after generation. And so forgiveness needs to happen here. And I feel like you've pretty much been good at that, right? You're the mediator, you're the go-between, you smooth everything out, you love unconditionally, but that's not true. You've never been in the experience of unconditional love, so you can't possibly be the vibration of it. And it was never given or shown to you, and it's now Spirit's time to show you what that looks like, what that can be like. But in order to do that, you have to forgive the past. You have to be willing to let go of the anger and the resentment and the need to sacrifice your own happiness for the happiness of others, for the peace of others. It's not your job. It's not your duty. You're not that in the future. You were that in the past. You're not that in the future. And so what's keeping you from giving and receiving love unconditionally is it's never been your experience, and you don't know what it looks like. Except you came into this world with a remembrance of that. That's your mission. That's your soul's journey, is to complete this cycle, to end it, to heal it once and for all, to forgive it, to let it go, and to build something new for yourself. And to stop, for God's sake, stop being the mediator. Stop smoothing over what needs to bleed out, what needs to heal, you got to quit. If you're the only glue holding it together, let that shit fall apart. Let it go. You're not the fixer. The only person you're responsible to fix now is you, because this pattern, this ancestral patterning, has broken you. And now it's time for you to get a little selfish, for you to fulfill your heart's desire, your happiness, your future. Stop being a people pleaser. If they want to fight, let them fight. If they want to hurt each other, let them hurt each other. But don't let them hurt you, and don't let them fight with you. And you're going to need a voice. You're going to need a voice in this. And you can take this gift that you have, because it is a gift, for negotiating fairness and strategy in personal and professional life, respect for both sides of an argument. You can be that mediator in a healthy, balanced way once you have healed your inner child. You might be really good at being an attorney or an advocate for animals or children. You could be a counselor, right? For people who have been through the same thing that you've been through. But you can't do that until you understand the archetype, the experience, the beast. And that's what you're here to learn. And I believe, well, let's get your advice. Let's find out what Spirit's advice is, because I think you're going to learn your value, your worth. Knight of Pentacles, financial discipline. I'm hearing the song, hold your head up, oh, hold your head up, oh, hold your head up. So we have, can you feel me? Yeah, I think you guys are such empaths. I think you feel things so deeply. But I don't feel like you ever felt like anybody else felt you. We have your feminine aspect is awakening. Feel the goddess energy inside you. She seeks acknowledgement and validation. New and wonderful things are coming into your life. Wake up and celebrate. This is, whether you're a masculine or feminine avatar, it doesn't matter. This is the awakening of the divine feminine aspect within yourself, which I believe has been suppressed in distortion, in codependence, in neediness. I have a feeling that every damn reading I'm ever going to do, it's going to come back to divine feminine, divine masculine energy. Why? Because that's my mission. It's so crazy. How do I take this out into the world other than card readings? Because most of us know this already. I really want to work with you guys on a one-to-one matter, or in a one-to-one manner, to not just point this out to you, but actually to give you the tools that you need in order to clear it. Because that's where my true gift lies. Yes, I'm intuitive, but these readings are all about creating the new earth, the new 5D template, and everybody is balancing their masculine and feminine energy through different archetypes and traumas. Retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. Yeah, I feel like that's what you do. I hate to say it, but I feel like that's what you do. When the going gets tough, you go in. You retreat, right? You try to fix things, and if you can't fix them, you just hide. Chantel, new romance is imminent, either with a newcomer or through reignited passion in your existing relationship. Be open to giving and receiving love. That's what this whole reading is about, is what is your block to giving and receiving love? Because when you can clear out this distortion, everybody's going to end up with a partner, right? Whether the partner is you And it can be. It doesn't have to show up in a body. Or if it's literally through finding that love that you have always eluded, that has always eluded you. Ooh, then we have, you see, soulmate. Come on, guys. It always comes back to relationships for me, too. I really do believe that my mission in life as a light worker is to help people to fix relation to themselves and relation to others, right? Wow, like a freaking relationship coach, which really is not what I wanted to be, Spirit. But it always comes back to that, doesn't it? I was told in a channeled message that I was going to be the oracle for 3 waves of light workers and twin flames. That's what I was told. All right, so we have children. Children are important to this partnership. So this is going to play out differently for all of you. Like I said, you know, it's family patterns. So maybe you married somebody, or maybe you call in mates that are mirror reflections to this past distortion. Maybe you had children with somebody. Maybe you're going to have children with somebody. Because remember, we're clearing out the old patterns to create the future. And the children are the future. There's another song. I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them the strength and pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how it used to be. Children are important to my pile number 2s. Be decisive. No wavering, right? You need to choose. And I believe you already know what you need to choose. You need to choose you and love. You're so sensitive. My pile number 2s, you're so sensitive, so empathic. I really feel like you need to, you might have a choice. You might be leaving one for another. I don't know. Let's surrender to silence. See, you guys retreat, right? In quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within you. Silence can heal and replenish you. I think that's your natural habitat, right? The world gets loud and you get quiet. You need a voice. That's what you need. You need a voice. You need a little bit of masculine energy to balance out that feminine goddess. Okay, ask your higher self, time to clear all karmic debts, forgive, release across all timelines. There you go. There you go. This is a ancestral karmic cycle. And you incarnated into this family, into this situation, into this lifetime to clear that. I hate to say that. That's a lot of responsibility, but that's the truth of the matter. You're going to have to learn to not be the glue that holds everything together, but you. What is yours versus what is others? And how are you holding on to others? Shit, when you need to just let some of that go and just focus on what's yours. You need to tend your garden. Yeah, you need to weed your garden. You know, you're a creator being. You are a creator being from a creator race. That is from the original creator. And your garden is your life. And so what stays and what goes, and what is yours to nurture and tend, and what is not. And you need to learn to say no to the experiences you don't want to have and yes to the ones you do. You need to guard your energy. You need to tend your garden. Wow. That's a very deep, boy, I'm really channeling today. You know, I used to channel like this when I got high, and I don't get high anymore. And I often wondered, okay, Spirit, what happens when I quit getting high? Am I still going to be able to tap in? And I do. Like, I even almost sometimes feel like I'm high, even though I'm not. So I'm going to clear the energy. We are going to move on to pile number 3. Please, Spirit, help me disconnect from pile number 2. We are at 120.46. Okay, where'd my pile go? Oh, here it is, right here. Let's take a look. All right, my pile number 3. If you chose this beautiful hunk of burning love, this is the blue fluorite. I still think it's rainbow though. But it did come, it was a gift, and it did come with a little card that said it was blue fluorite. But I have a feeling. All right, let's roll the dice for you. Pile number 3, Spirit. What is their block to giving and receiving unconditional love? Oh, and look, pile number 3 got a number 3. Threes for me are expansion. 3 is the Trinity, Father, Son, Holy Ghost, Mother, Maiden, Crone, mind, body, spirit. It is the energetic dynamic of expansion and balance. I know you would think 3 wouldn't be balance, right? 4s would be balance, but I don't know. For you guys, I'm feeling balance, balance between the mind, the body, the soul, the mother, the father, and the child. The old wise feminine, the middle-aged maiden. Yeah, I'm just moving into your energy. Let's take a look here. Okay, those are your advice cards. And you guys got duplicates of cards. And, I feel like that's not fair to other piles, but I guess you choose your pile, right? So your first card is the 6 of Swords. Well, we're moving on up to the 5 of Wands. Yeah, you guys are just clearing some shit out, aren't you? With the 8 of Swords, clarifying the 6 of Swords. Ooh, and the pre-Empress, the 9 of Pentacles, clarifying the 5 of Wands. Ooh, parenting. Femme fatale. Ooh, and it is in the shadow attribute. So inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money and power. Grr. And you have the poet in shadow attribute also. Turns a lyric gift to negative or destructive effect. Okay, so you guys are my wallowers. Let's see. Oh, and yang. There you go. Masculine energy. We have the sun, masculine energy. Enjoy success and happiness. And the she-wolf, unleash the wild within. Again, Spirit, thank you. This is all about balancing your inner masculine and feminine energy. So let's just take a look at what is the block. Okay, what is the block? Parenting. Well, I can see where you're headed, but I'm not seeing quite the block yet. What was that again? Parenting. I can definitely see that my pile number 3s could have possibly recently become divorced or moved out of a situation, become autonomous. If you're a young person, you might have left your parents' home and now you're, off taking care of yourself. This is like being tossed out of the nest for some of you. Not tossed. Spirit says you jumped. With the 6 of Swords and the 8 of Swords, and you're being helped here too. Whether this is a person helping you or just the divine helping you. There was a situation in your past, could even be in your present, but soon to be your past, where you have freed yourself from some place or something that was very conflicting, right? There was arguing or conflict. And you're reaching for the light. Look at this. I just want you guys to see. This is, by the way, this is how you read intuitively, right? You look for patterns. Look at that ball of light. That ball of light. That ball of light. So some of you guys might literally be musically inclined, or you could be writers. You might write poetry. This kind of resonates with me, this poet in the shadow attribute. I have written some beautiful poetry and beautiful songs around tragedy, heartbreak, loneliness, shadow. Turns a lyric gift to negative or destructive effect. How many times have we seen youths that, turn to head-banging music, screamo music, because they're so suppressed in their emotions, they just need to scream to get it out. It's an expression of those pent-up emotions of anger and rage. And this femme fatale, inappropriate use of sensuality, attachment to money and power. With the she-wolf, unleash the wild within. So I'm just here to tell you, okay, be very careful, my pile number 3s, that you don't move from one distorted energy into the other. Because what I'm seeing here is you stepping out, stepping away from this 6 of Swords, 8 of Swords energy, feeling stuck in your thoughts, belief systems, conflict. Could be in the home because we've got parenting here. What I see is you freeing yourself from that. But I see you doing it possibly in a distorted masculine way. And remember, we're talking energy, archetype, not bodies. Doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman, body. If you feel the need to use another person to free you from a situation, that's that rebound energy, right? Instead of finding your way to this beautiful 9 of Pentacles, this autonomy, this creating for yourself, taking care of your own garden, like pile number 2, we talked about your garden is your life, right? You plant the seeds that you want to experience, and you weed out the ones that you don't. You guard your energy away from, experiences you don't want to have, and only surrounding yourself with people and experiences you do want to have. But I'm seeing a distortion here of moving from a feminine archetype of codependence into this um, femme fatale, she-wolf energy, yang energy. To find your happiness, don't use another person. Don't, I need a man to come and rescue me, or I need a woman to come and rescue me and free me. And I'm just going to use them for a little while until I can get on my feet and become this, autonomous person. Because inside of me is a she-wolf. I am capable of doing it, but I'm feeling stuck. And usually in the Six of Swords, there's a person in the boat with you. And here there isn't. It's like you felt alone and you didn't know how to do it on your own. And so if you're planning on using somebody to free you, be careful of that. There's karma in that. And that could be an archetype of your family line too. Perhaps the females in the family were very masculine in energy and tend to use their beauty and their sexuality to ensnare a counterpart to. I'm sorry, this is horrible, but I'm just getting like prostitute energy from this. And I don't mean it could be literal, like I sell sex for money, but I'm not feeling it in the literal. I'm feeling it like, I wasn't raised in a home where I was educated, so I have to use my physicality, my beauty, my elegance, my feminine wiles to survive in a masculine world. And so there's a pattern here. Parenting. I believe this was role modeled to you. I believe you're very beautiful or handsome. I'm just hearing you can have both. This woman, I gotta tell you what I'm feeling. Please don't be offended. But look in this card. The glove is on the ground and the hawk or falcon is flying away. This woman is not working for her abundance. Not in the masculine way of work, manual labor. I'm just hearing, here comes the sun. It's all right. All right, so what is your biggest block to balance out the equal giving and receiving of love? Is a belief system you have that love does not pay the bills. Or maybe it does, literally. but it's not love. And so there's a distortion around love where you are possibly confusing physical, sensual love with spiritual, emotional love. And I don't feel like it's your fault. I've got the parenting card. I feel like you were raised that way. And I don't think that's going to serve you in the new world. You're going to have to balance this masculine and feminine energy. It's like you're using the feminine body with masculine energy, like you're conquering the world, finding your happiness, finding your abundance. But you're doing it in a very imbalanced way. Because what's missing here is love. That's what I see missing. I see fire and I see passion. You know, I had a friend. I haven't seen her in years. I don't know where she went, but she was so freaking beautiful. I mean, just absolutely flawlessly gorgeous. As if she was made perfect in every flawless, beautiful, perfect way. And she learned how to rock that. She always got what she wanted. Guys would just flounder around her. They would buy her drinks. They would give her the coat off their back. They would just do anything to get a piece of that, literally or figuratively. And because of her beauty, she suppressed her intelligence. She was smart. God, she was smart. I mean, she really was the whole package, you know? But she never used that brain of hers for anything more than manipulating others to meet her needs. And then she would complain to me about how men never saw how smart she was and that people didn't listen to her ideas or her gifts, right? Music or lyrics or writing, or I just feel like locked inside of you is this really intelligent person with so much to give, and yet you just don't know how to claim that because it was never shown to you how to claim that. And so I feel like for pile number 3s, there needs to be a balance here again. God, this seems to be a theme, right? Of the divine masculine, divine feminine energies. It's like you look like the whole package. And I believe you probably are. But you're only using half of what God gave you. And because of that, there's love. I'm looking at what's missing. I see lots of fire, lots of passion, lots of sensuality, even money, abundance. But what I'm not seeing is love. So let's get you some advice. We have healing. It says, oh, and look, there's another sun. Wow. Says healing, positive transformation is occurring on a soul level. The answer to your question is yes. So I don't know what your question is, but I believe that the universe is giving you an opportunity to balance this energy out so that you can have this abundant life through your own means, possibly through writing, telling your story. Healing, positive transformation is occurring on a soul level. Codependency, there you go. Codependency. Listen, my friend, who shall remain nameless, she was a force to be reckoned with. She got everything she ever wanted. All she had to do was crook her little pinky. But she never, ever, ever found love. I don't know, maybe now she has. But when I knew her, she never found love. Why? Because she was codependent. She was allowing her desires. There's another sun, too. Look at in the background. You know, it reminds me of like some of these TV shows that you watch, you know, where there's like back in the not Egyptians, back in the like Caesar's times. When was that? Anyhow, you know, these women, these beautiful, beautiful concubines, right? Or not even, they could have been the empress or the wife of the emperor or the king or whatever, a man of statute, right? But she was arm candy. And a lot of them were so brilliant. They had, I mean, like look at Cleopatra, right? She ruled kingdoms because she was smart. But she did it by using her feminine attributes. And so she was never truly the ruler of anything. Because she was always enslaved to her beliefs that she couldn't create it for herself. She had to create it by taking from others or being given, not even taking, being given, right? I don't know. This is weird energy. Desire. Look at that. No condition. You got a yes and a no. No, conditions aren't favorable right now. Wait or look into other options. Ask the angels to help you, to help guide and comfort you. And it's Desiree, okay? Desire. I believe you need to tend your own garden. Your own garden. Use your ability, your creative expression, swords, your thoughts to free yourself from having to be. There's a weird energy of here of I get everything I want. I am in control. But you're so freaking codependent. You're not creating that for yourself. You're using what you have to allow others to create it for you, and then you're always enslaved and bound to it. Different pages. You and this person don't share the same vision. Yeah. Because you're superficial. I hate to say that. That sounds mean. And if this isn't you, flip that shit around. This could be your person if there's a person involved, but I am asking about you, right? Yes and no, yes and no, yes and no. Healing. So I think no, right now, the conditions aren't favorable. Wait or look into options, ask the angels to help guide and comfort you, because there's conflict here. There is an imbalance happening because of codependency. And when you heal that, when you transform that on a soul level, this is not a physical level. Physicality is too easy for you to tap into. You need to go to a soul level. Then the answer is going to be yes. Then you're going to finally become a vibrational alignment to that which has been missing in your life, which is love. Finances. Some of you guys are very, very financially attuned. I'm just going to leave it like that. Financial challenges are affecting this connection. You want to know why? I'm going to tell you why. Because you're not creating for yourself. You're giving your power away. You're using one power to bring in another power to create for you. And that is the different pages. That's the conflict. And so you might believe that you're not capable, finances, Nine of Pentacles, of creating for yourself unless you are somehow, some way aligning yourself with somebody else's ability to create abundance. And so there's a feeling here of not being able to take care of yourself unless you use what God gave you. Accept what's dying. This is an old belief system, and it's not going to have a place in the future. You're going to have a hard time finding a man who will buy into that in the future. Or a woman, like I said. We're talking energies. You need to balance. There's a balance that needs to be had between the femme fatale and the she-wolf with this masculine energy, right? It's like going from one extreme to the other. Again, the message for everybody today is balancing that inner masculine and feminine energy. How can you be the create? Oh, there's the hiccup. See, I'm on it. Be the creator you were created from, right? Everything that was, is, and ever shall be. Creator being. That's what you are. It's your superpower. Stop giving away all of your energy to others to create for you. And it's like in your mind, you don't even believe it. You're like, oh no, I create for myself by cricking my little pinky. Everything I want comes to me. Yeah, except if you were alone on an island somewhere, you'd wither up and die because there's nobody there to feed you. There's nobody there for you to crook your finger towards. Surrender, procrastination. Now is the time to jump on a goal instead of putting it off. Taking action will attract success. There's also something here that you need to free yourself from, that you need to move away from, and you're being told you might be on the fence, right? Because you've got yes and you've got no. You've got yes and no, masculine, feminine, back and forth, inner conflict, feeling stuck like Chuck, wanting to move into smoother waters, wanting to climb that stairway. But there's a fear here around being able to create for yourself. And Spirit's saying, we've given you all the tools you need. You don't need another person to help you out of this mess. You can do this on your own, but you're going to have to work. You're going to have to pick that glove up. You're going to have to create this for yourself and move away from this codependency into this she-wolf in a balanced way, though, right? A balance between the masculine and feminine. I think you've been procrastinating ending something you know you should because of fear around money and stability. And there's a warning here for you to do it the right way, to break an old cycle of using your beauty and great, whatever God gave you. Use your mind, use your intelligence. The avatar will grow old and wrinkle up, and it won't be as appealing. And your mind is the greatest gift that God ever gave you. Stop and regroup. This is exactly, I feel like you're stuck. Something here is dying and needs to end. And I think there's a warning. Stop. Stop. Conditions aren't favorable right now. Wait or look into other options. That's what I'm hearing. Look into other options. Ask the angels to help guide and comfort you. I think you're planning to make a move in distorted energy, and the spirit is warning you that if you want love, you create love. You use your mind and you need to create for yourself. You need to take this masculine energy and use it to create for you, and not by giving your power away to others to create for you. I think this is a pattern that was parented to you. And so you're so capable. Create it for you. Don't use other people to create it for you, because that's temporary. Expansion. It's time for you to go. There's something here you need to let go of. Accept what is dying. Move towards your success and happiness. You and this person don't share the same vision. You might be needing to divorce or move away or jump out of the nest. But you're seesawing. Should I, shouldn't I? Is the time now? Maybe I need to stop. Maybe I don't know. But I think you do know. I think Spirit is clearly going to show you if you just go within and really ask. Positive transformation is occurring on a soul level. Father, Son, Holy Ghost, Mother, Maiden, Crone, Mother, Father, Child. There is a pattern here that Spirit is trying to teach you to walk away from an old belief system, to reparent yourself and not to be codependent, but also not to use others to get what you want, but to really create that shit for yourself. That's the block you have between giving and receiving love. Is love isn't even on the table. All I see is that you've created something that is really conflicting in your life, whether it's a home situation, a marriage, a job, your parents. There's something here and you're wanting to get out on your own, but you're not wanting to create it for yourself. You're wanting to take the easy way because I think you're pretty or handsome, and I think that it's worked for you in the past, and I think it was role modeled to you somehow, some way in your home. So I love you. I hope this resonated, guys. I really was channeling deep today. I kind of feel like I need to eat. So I'm going to let you go with love and light. And please let me know in the comment section if this helped in any way, shape, or form. And remember, I'm running a special. I really, 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 really would like to work with you. Not just for the money, although that would be awesome, but because, man, the time is now, the time is now, the time is now. Let's get to the root of these issues and let's heal them to create this beautiful world that we are all asked to work together to create. Okay? I love you. Namaste.